The rain poured heavily over the bustling city, casting a gray mist over everything. Inside a small diner, the warm glow of neon lights flickered against the backdrop of the stormy night. Maya, a 21-year-old waitress, moved swiftly between tables, balancing trays filled with steaming plates. Her heart raced as she glanced at the time. Her shift was almost over. Every evening, after serving customers with a bright smile, she would sneak into the storeroom to check on her mother. The old woman lay on a makeshift mattress, struggling with illness. "Hang in there, Mom. I'll be right back," Maya whispered, forcing herself to stay positive despite their dire situation. Just as she finished her last order, the diner manager stormed in. "Maya, you can't keep hiding your mother here. You're fired," he shouted angrily, catching her off guard. Maya felt her stomach drop as she protested. "Please. She needs me." But it was no use. As they were pushed out into the rain-soaked streets, Maya held her mother close, desperate and afraid. Little did they know that Haruto, a powerful Japanese mafia boss, was walking nearby. He paused, taking in the sight of the two vulnerable souls. Something stirred within him as he approached them slowly, his dark eyes filled with intrigue. As the rain continued to pour, Maya and her mother found themselves huddled under a thin blanket on the cold, wet street. The storeroom that had been their refuge was now just a painful memory. "I'm so sorry, Mom," Maya said softly, brushing her fingers through her mother's frail hair. "I thought we could make it." Her mother looked at her with tired eyes. "You've done your best, Maya. You're my brave girl." But Maya felt the weight of despair settling in her heart. Without a home, their situation grew more dire by the moment. "I'll find us a place to stay," Maya promised, determination igniting within her. She recalled the few coins she had left from tips and knew she had to search for help somehow. As they sat on the sidewalk, she would glance around, hoping for someone to notice them. "Stay strong, Mom," she whispered as she wrapped her arms around her mother, shielding her from the chill. In that moment, love overshadowed fear. Maya vowed to care for her mother no matter what. Unbeknownst to them, Haruto, the powerful Japanese mafia boss, watched from a distance, intrigued by their resilience in the face of despair. The diner was bustling with chatter and the clatter of dishes when the manager, Mr. Thompson, burst through the back door, his face stormy. Maya's heart sank as she saw him striding toward her. "Maya," he called out sharply, "we need to talk." "What's wrong?" she asked, trying to mask her unease. His eyes narrowed. "I know you've been hiding your mother in the storeroom. This is unacceptable. You're fired." The words hit her like a punch to the gut.
"No."
"Please, Mr. Thompson. I need this job," Maya pleaded, desperation flooding her voice. "My mom is sick, and we have nowhere else to go." "Not my problem," he snapped, waving her protests aside. "Get out before I call the police." As tears welled in Maya's eyes, she turned and rushed to the storeroom, where her mother lay weak and confused. "Mom, we have to go," she cried, panicking. They grabbed what little they had and stepped out into the pouring rain. The cold droplets drenched them instantly. Maya held her mother close, fear gripping her heart. "I'm so sorry," she whispered, knowing their lives had just taken a turn for the worst. Unbeknownst to them, Haruto watched from the shadows, intrigued by their plight and determination amidst despair. As the rain pounded the pavement, Haruto moved through the shadowy streets with an air of unyielding confidence. The powerful Japanese mafia boss was known for his commanding presence, and tonight was no different. Clad in a tailored black coat that contrasted sharply with the dreary night, he strode purposefully, his mind focused yet alert to the world around him. With each step, he felt the weight of his responsibilities as a mafia boss. He had made enemies and allies alike, and his reputation traveled far and wide. Yet tonight, something felt different. As he rounded a corner, he caught sight of two figures huddled together under a thin blanket, their faces hidden from the downpour. Intrigued, he approached. As he neared, Haruto could see it was a young woman and an older one, her mother, shivering against the cold. Their vulnerability struck a chord deep within him. "What are you doing out here?" he asked, his voice steady and rich as he tried to mask his concern with authority. Maya looked up, her eyes filled with desperation and fear. "We have nowhere else to go," she replied quietly, clutching her mother tightly. Haruto felt a surge of determination. These two deserved better than this cruel night. Haruto stepped closer to Maya and her mother, the rain creating a dramatic backdrop as he extended his hand slightly. "You shouldn't be out here in this weather," he said, his voice smooth yet firm. "What are your names?" Maya looked up, startled by his presence. "I'm Maya, and this is my mother," she replied hesitantly, clutching her mother tighter. "We've nowhere to go." His expression softened as he surveyed their soaked clothes and shivering forms. "Maya, you and your mother deserve better than this." "Why do you care?" she asked suspiciously, aware of the power that surrounded him as a mafia boss. "Because I see strength in you," Haruto answered earnestly. "I may be a mafia boss, but even I know what it feels like to struggle. I can offer you shelter for the night, somewhere warm and safe." Maya hesitated, uncertainty flickering in her eyes. "Why would you want to help us?" "Everyone deserves compassion," he replied, glancing at her mother to gauge her condition. "Please don't refuse my offer. You'll be safe with me." After a moment of silence, Maya nodded slowly, realizing that this unexpected encounter could be their chance for survival. "Okay, we'll come with you." As Haruto led Maya and her mother to his car, his mind drifted back to his own life. Being a powerful mafia boss came with immense responsibility, but it also meant profound loneliness. While he commanded respect and fear, Haruto often found himself isolated, surrounded by wealth, but devoid of genuine connections. Trust was a rare commodity in his world, a world filled with betrayal and danger. He remembered the sacrifices he had made to rise through the ranks, the friends he had lost, and the darkness that crept into his heart. The weight of his decisions hung like a heavy cloak on his shoulders. He was feared by many, but understood by few. When he saw Maya and her mother, something within him stirred. Their struggle reminded him of his own past, the times when he felt helpless and vulnerable. He saw strength in Maya's determination to care for her mother, a reflection of the love he had once cherished. "Why do you help us?" Maya had asked. In truth, Haruto was drawn to their plight because it evoked emotions he thought he had buried long ago, compassion and a desire to protect. As they drove through the rain, he felt a flicker of hope ignite within him, longing for connection amidst the shadows of his life. As they arrived at Haruto's safe house, Maya stepped inside and was immediately enveloped in warmth, a stark contrast to the cold rain they had just escaped. The cozy living room was adorned with soft lighting and comfortable furniture, making it feel like an inviting refuge. "You can stay as long as you need," Haruto said, watching her and her mother take in their surroundings. "Thank you," Maya whispered, her voice filled with gratitude yet edged with uncertainty. She glanced at her mother, who seemed to relax for the first time in days. Over the next few days, Haruto visited often to check on them. He brought groceries and medicine for Maya's mother, but it was his conversations with Maya that truly captivated him. They would sit together on the couch, sharing stories. The tension between them was palpable. She felt drawn to him despite his dangerous world as a mafia boss. "Why do you help us?" she asked one evening, curiosity dancing in her eyes. "I see strength in you," he replied earnestly, his gaze holding hers. "It reminds me of what I once lost." Maya felt a flutter in her heart. The more time they spent together, the more their bond grew, an unexpected connection blossoming amidst the shadows of his life, filled with both tenderness and unspoken feelings. As days turned into weeks, Maya found herself at a crossroads, caught between her growing feelings for Haruto and the moral weight of his dangerous lifestyle as a mafia boss. Each time he walked through the door, bringing warmth and kindness, her heart raced with both excitement and fear. One evening, they sat together on the couch, the tension in the air palpable. Maya gazed out the window, watching the raindrops trickle down the glass. "Haruto," she began hesitantly, "you're a mafia boss. You live in a world filled with violence and crime." He looked at her, his expression serious but gentle. "I know who I am," he replied softly, "but that doesn't mean I can't care for you and your mother." "I appreciate everything you've done for us," Maya continued, her voice shaky. "But I can't ignore what you represent. How can I trust someone like you?" Haruto took a deep breath, leaning closer. "You see strength in me. I see hope in you. We both have our battles to fight." Maya felt a tumult of emotions, attraction mingling with apprehension. She wanted to give in to their connection, but feared the darkness that loomed over his life like a shadow. Would she be able to accept him fully? The dining room was aglow with candlelight, casting flickering shadows against the walls. Haruto had gone to great lengths to create a romantic atmosphere, setting the table with fine dishes and soft music playing in the background. Maya sat across from him, her heart racing as she admired the elegant setting. "Tonight is special," Haruto began, his voice low and sincere. "I wanted to show you how much you mean to me." He reached for her hand, his touch warm and steady. Maya felt a flutter of anxiety mixed with affection. "Haruto, this is beautiful, but—" He interrupted gently. "Please let me speak." He took a deep breath, his eyes locking onto hers. "From the moment I found you in that rain, I felt a connection I couldn't ignore. You and your mother have become part of my life in ways I never expected." Her breath caught in her throat as he continued. "I love you, Maya." The weight of his words hung in the air. "Will you marry me? I promise to protect you both for as long as I live." Maya's heart raced as emotions swirled inside her, fear, joy, uncertainty, until she finally whispered, "Yes." In that moment, everything changed. Their lives intertwined amidst the shadows of his world. The sun rose on a crisp morning, casting soft light over the elegant venue chosen for Haruto and Maya's wedding. Despite the grand surroundings, Maya felt a flutter of nervous excitement as she looked around at the luxurious decorations, from the exquisite floral arrangements to the shimmering chandeliers. As guests began to arrive, the atmosphere buzzed with anticipation. Among them were powerful figures tied to Haruto's life as a mafia boss, men and women in sharp suits, their presence unmistakably commanding. It was a world far removed from Maya's humble beginnings, where every dollar had once been hard-earned. Haruto stood at the altar, looking dashing in his tailored suit, a striking contrast to the simple wedding dress Maya wore, embodying both elegance and her modest roots. Their eyes met, and for a fleeting moment, all the chaos faded away as he smiled at her, a mixture of love and protection reflecting in his gaze. "Maya," he began as they exchanged vows, "you have brought light into my dark world. I promise to protect you and your mother for all my days." With each word spoken, it became clear how much they were melding their worlds together. As they sealed their vows with a kiss, the crowd erupted in applause, uniting their paths despite the shadows of Haruto's life as a mafia boss. Life after the wedding brought both beauty and challenges for Maya. As Haruto's wife, she found herself in a luxurious world, but it was far from the fairy tale she had imagined. The grand house was filled with opulence, yet moments of solitude crept in when Haruto was called away on business, urgent mafia matters that demanded his attention. Maya adjusted to her new life, often accompanying Haruto at social events filled with powerful figures from his mafia world. Despite feeling out of place among the elite, she tried to blend in, reminding herself of the strength she had shown in difficult times. "I can do this," she whispered to herself as she practiced her smile in front of the mirror. Yet, her heart still ached for the simpler days spent looking after her mother in their humble setting. Each time Haruto returned home, his eyes softened as he embraced her tightly, reassuring her that they were building a future together. "I'll protect you both," he would promise, but fear lingered in Maya's mind about the dangers that came with being married to a mafia boss. Despite her worries, their bond deepened. Love flourished even amidst the shadows of his reality, creating a connection that both terrified and comforted her in equal measure. Maya stood at the balcony of their grand home, looking out at the city she once struggled in, her heart swelling with a mix of gratitude and uncertainty. The life she now led was intricately woven with Haruto's world as a powerful mafia boss, a life that often brought shadows of danger and unpredictability. Yet, despite the chaos that surrounded them, she found strength in their love. Haruto joined her, wrapping his arms around her waist as they both gazed at the horizon. "You're safe with me," he whispered, sensing the heaviness in her heart. Maya turned to him, her eyes filled with emotion. "I know, but I can't help but worry about what your world means for us." He nodded, understanding her fears. "Love transcends circumstances," he replied earnestly. "Together, we can face anything." In that moment, Maya recognized that their love was a force that could challenge any obstacle. It had transformed her life from hardship to one filled with purpose and connection. As they stood together, she felt a profound sense of belonging. Their bond was more than just a union. It was a promise that despite the darkness surrounding his life as a mafia boss, they would find light in each other. And with that realization, Maya embraced her path forward, side by side with Haruto.